Hello, everybody. This is Jinen, and what we're going to do today is just build a quick application on, on Google Sheets. So we get a lot of requests like, if we have a Google Sheet, can we do something on top of it, right? Can we build a quick app on top of it? And today it's exactly the same thing that I'm going to pick up, and we're going to quickly see how can we turn around a simple Google Sheet into an app in less than, I say, 10 minutes. So let's get started then. All right, and here we go. So I'm just going to share my screen and stay with me. So what I'm going to do is, so here is my Google Sheet. This is a simple app, which is a simple sheet. Just like probably like you might be keeping it for maybe a sales records, your invoices, or probably your employee records or whatever, right? Now on this sheet, let's assume you want to create a quick app. How do you go about it? So you need a DronaHQ account, and what I'm going to do is I have created a free account. When I say free, a free trial account that I have. So let's say I have just started here, and here is my app that I'm going to be looking at building things inside, right? Or this has been picked up from a template, and I picked up a template of custom communication right over here, right within the template. Now what I'm going to do next is once I have this custom communication template here with me, right? I'm just going to go launch it straight inside this, right? Now what our objective over here is to pick the data from Google Sheet and kind of replicate it within build an app on top of it, right? So as step one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build a new screen here. Okay, now I have a ton of options which is available, uh, right, in terms of what screen should I use. And given that right now I'm looking at replicating it from my sheet, so I'm just going to pick up, say, column, two column, as a template screen, and I'm just going to add it into my list. This gives me a two column thing over here, right? I'm just gonna make sure that this is a little bit clean and just change it like this is my, say, canvassing app, as you may call it, and I'm just gonna change the secondary header. I'm just gonna remove it. Okay, so this is just to have the aesthetics all right. Now, as a next step to this, what I'm gonna do is this looks two column. I'm also just gonna change the name of this to something more meaningful. Say my Google app on Google App Canvassing, right? So just to make sure that you all can understand that yes, this is indeed Google App Canvassing. Now, as the next step, as what we're going to do is we're going to look at connecting this to the data, right? Now to do that, we're going to go switch into the connectors, and into the connectors we're going to look up for Google Sheets. Now my account is already in, so I'm not going to look at re-registering my account. But for now, let's assume because I know which sheet I'm talking about, I'm just gonna go and say get all rows, right? That's what I'm gonna look at doing, right? So as a result, what I'm gonna do is gonna say go get all rows from Google Sheet, right? So let's say the connector's name is say GC Google Connector, and I want to start with row number 2, and this can go to 100,000 whatever, but right now I'm just gonna limit it to maybe 100, right? I'm gonna select a spreadsheet, so here this is gonna be I just drop down and I get to see my sheets over here, and this is the sheet I'm gonna pick up, the canvassing app, right? Now, the sheet within this particular spreadsheet that I'm going to use is sheet 1. As you could see, this is the sheet 1, right? Now, I need which columns from here, right? So my range of columns ranges from A to G. So I'm going to look at using here A to G. There we go. Now I'm done with this. So GC is up and ready. As the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up this, look at point data. I'm going to look at a connector that I'm supposed to use, and GC is the connector that we just configured. And now I'm going to say, all right, I need A, B, C. D, E, F, and G because I need all the data, right? And oh, I just clicked a bit. So just stay with me. Hang on for a second. Right back to this step. Okay. So here we go. Save. As you could see, 10 records are found in this. Okay. So now we are good to go. And let's just do a quick demo of this. And here we go. All the content from this is now available right over here. Right. So now let's do a few things on this to make it more meaningful. A is what we're going to do next is, now that we have the data, right? Let's say I would want to do, filter this particular sheet, right? Basis the name of the rep, right? So let's set things up here. Okay, let's say I have a screen called as say settings, and here we're going to have the users, which are going to be like all the users who are going to be like using the app, and depending on who's a rep, we are going to be like getting the information from this particular sheet. So let's make it more contextual, right? So how are we going to do this? So we already have built this particular settings page, right? It's pretty simple in case if you're going to be like using it for the first time. Just look at, let's just go and just add a settings page to on the top right of this. Right? So we'll just say, all right, I need an icon here, right? So we will choose the icon as settings. We just look up settings here, and there we go, right? Settings is set, but we want the color to be different because it's already white in the background. So let's make it black over here, right? So now we have settings all available over here. But that's not enough because now we got to choose, we got to navigate this without any validation, no validation to settings, right? So now we have this all up and running. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna say, on the right side over here, we're just gonna pick one text box, right, and say this is my current user. So we just go and we say, hey, this is my current user, right? So, and let's say the value of this is my current user, right? And just save and validate, right? I could have just come over here and say logged in user, and I could have used the same stuff from the user email from here as well. The result would have been the same. It's just that there are multiple ways of doing it. Maybe you could choose the one that suits you, right? Now, we have this GC, but this GC is going to fetch me all the records, right? So what do we do next? So here we just go back into the connector and add a new connector. This time, let's find rows, okay, which are going to be basis my, uh, my user sheet over here, which is basis the user, right? So again, I'm going to use the connector, which is find rows. And from the find rows, I'm going to say this is GC with find rows, okay? So, or maybe let's make it GC basis user, right? So let's go with that. Again, give me up to 100 rows, search column. Now, which column am I going to search, right? So we got to pick up your filter. In our case, the filter is in the G column, right? So we pick up, say, search column is G, right? And what's my search value, right? So my search value over here is, we just made a simple thing, which is my user, right? So I'll pick up the field user because that's where I'm going to get my actual user. And these are all optional, so I'm going to leave it blank. And again, I'm going to do some more, basically the same thing that I did. So I'll say select spreadsheet, Canvas app, sheet name is going to be sheet one, things don't change here, and column name is going to be A to G, right? It's going to confirm, yeah, it's A to G, right? And there we go. Okay, I think there is something which is missing over here. Okay, we got the issue. Issue is we can't have special characters in this, right? So bit lousy. Go again. So we go find rows, and we can't have special characters. So this time we'll make sure that it doesn't happen that way, right? So let's go back and say GC uh, GC with find rows. Okay, let's just keep it simple. 100 rows. Search column is G. Okay, and then my search value is user. Right. So here we go. Now I'm gonna keep everything else blank. Come back to select a spreadsheet, and my spreadsheet is Canvas app. Sheet name is sheet one, and A2G is what I want. Right. And now let's do it. This time big O this works, right? So now let's just say now this time what we're gonna do is like we have this current user. So again, we just gotta make sure that GC is updated because that's what we use. We did not use a field user, but we are supposed to use current user. Right, so my bad. So I'm just gonna change this here to current user, and there we go. Right? So simple, right? And then what we're gonna do for current user is we're just gonna give it right now the name is user email, and now what we're gonna do is next is go back to this here to this table grid, okay? And now on the table grid, what we're gonna do is go to the connectors, right? Instead of GC this time, let's just change it to GC find rows, right? Now, back over here, A, B, C, D, whatever column that you want, you pick and choose, and bingo, you go, right, save. So now I'm sorted. Now let's go and take a look. If things go right, then this is just going to give me 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 records, right? So now let's see how does this shape up. I just want to make sure that this is correct. Okay, so let's say we've got a success on this. Right? Now we're just gonna see how this play out. Right. So now we got 7 records over here, as you could see, and this is based on all the record where Kylie is responsible for that account. Right. So here we go. Now, let's make this a little more interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure the current user is changed to, you know, uh, so what we're going to do is we created this settings over here. So let's try to use the settings. Now, here we have a field called as choose a user, right, where we are taking the default as user email. So let's go and change over here current user, and in the current user let's go to the controls. Okay, let's go to the screen settings and choose the control, choose a user, and save. Right now what we just did is we just went ahead and now made this a little more dynamic, right? Now here we go back, we choose a user instead of Kylie, let's say niche, right? The moment we do a niche, now we get 2 users who are just mapped to a niche. Here we go, right? Simple. So, in less than 10 minutes, we just had a very, very simple working app based on who the user is. We got the records, and then we wanted to make it a little more flexible, choosing the user. We just did that by adding this particular thing out here, right? So we are all sorted. Let's add a little bit of fun element to what we're doing, right? So in DronaHQ, we just recently launched something called as list. So let's say we're gonna take a long card with action as my list import, right? So what we can do is we can just add long card with list, and then we can work out the specifics in this one, right? So I'm going to encourage you guys that try this particular card out, and you can exactly do the same thing with this. I'm going to do a quick stuff with you by like choosing the properties over here and how does it work and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna make a card in the row like two, right? Just to make this look a little bit more neater, right? And even on the iPad too, right? And then the cover image, I'm gonna make sure that I give a cover image to this, right? So that this looks good. And then we're gonna like make sure that this has the data. So the first thing first, we're gonna go back here, use the same logic of using a connector, GC find rows, and we find values A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, and once we're done, save. Here we go. Check the custom formula. This all looks good, so all sorted, right? Now what we're gonna do is make sure that our profile, which our images are in this column, right? So we're gonna come back here into the settings, and now we're gonna say this is my F, because F is where all the profile URLs are, right? So we just set the profile image to F, and now let's see how does this look like. And bingo, so we have all the images here and things around it, right? However, like you can play around with the sizes of this and everything to make sure that this looks good, right? So I have one working copy over here, which maybe I will just show you, like how good you can make this, right? So here we go, like here for example, like if I wanted to change a few things over here, right? Let's say 30 April, uh, give them a call back, let's assume, right? So sky is a possibility. Now, if you see right now, here we don't have in the column number 1, 30 April, and give them a call back. Let's say a quick send over here, and this has now just gone ahead and like we just went ahead and we just added something more over here, right? So it's extremely amazing how fast and how quick can you build things, right? And I'll also switch this on just for you to see, like if you do appropriate settings on this, then how and like what can it really like show. So here we go. Let me just show this to you again. So now in this case, as you could see, same stuff that we've just did, but cards have been a bit more better arranged. As you could see, this one is an email field. All those things have been added, so you could kind of see how does this show up and how this works. I hope this demo was good and you liked it, and I would love to see you guys using building apps on top of Google Sheets. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at Jinen@DronaHQ.com, and me or somebody from my team would be more than happy to walk you guys through. Thank you very much.